The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Wrestling to the Max 205 Live. And we are live to tape to the W2M Network for the Wrestling to the Max 205 Live review here on the W2M Network, Wrestling to the Max on Facebook, W2Mnet.com online, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, Castbox. You know what I hear, Brandon?
What's that?
Something's coming.
Yes, Spotify is coming.
We just talked about this on SmackDown, and you screwed up the bit!
And Glacier is also coming.
It would be this point where I hang up on him if he weren't doing a podcast. This is the 205 Live review for July 3rd, 2018 here. This is our third podcast of the night, Brandon. I got nothing else witty to add to it. Let's just get to it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I screwed up the bit.
It's freaking almost 1:30 in the morning, and I'm ready to get this stuff done. So, our opening contest scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
It's actually not scheduled for one fall because it's not actually a contest. TJP starts us off with a promo. And then that leads into our opening contest scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
Where TJP issues an open challenge. Well, no, actually, I don't think he did. I think he
No.
said that he was an opponent of Drake Maverick's choosing, so I take that back. It was not an open challenge. But the opponent of Drake Maverick's choosing was the returning Noam Dar, who, if you watch the UKCT2 specials, you saw him win a four-way to become the number one contender to the United Kingdom Championship. And now here he is back on the 205 Live roster as well. So maybe we're going to start seeing some cross-pollination of the 205 Live and the UK guys.
I have a feeling we'll see the UK, like the UK-based 205 Live guys go to the UK shows a good bit, like Dar and Gallagher.
Well, Gallagher was nowhere to be found tonight, though. But
well, yes, but
we do see the returning Noam Dar tonight. He answers the call out from TJP, wondering who it's going to be. And 30 seconds later, Dar puts TJP on his ass with a running head kick for the pinfall victory. Pinkies up. I think that's something he used to do in Progress. I'm not sure what the significance of it. Maybe somebody who listens to Progress that listens to these shows can answer that to me. Who watches Progress and listens to these can answer that for me.
yeah. Because I don't know either.
Your thoughts on the return of Noam Dar to the Cruiserweight division?
I mean, I'm cool with Dar coming back. Unfortunately, he's kind of forever tainted for me because all I can think whenever I see him is Alicia Fox. But,
If you're going to do it correctly. It's Alicia Fox.
but, I mean, it's nice to see him back. It's good that he's done with his injury. I forget exactly what he had, but it was a pretty big injury because he's been out for like 6 months now.
Me.
Oh, was it? Didn't he? Okay. But I kind of don't like. I mean, I get that they're kind of now that he's back, they're probably going to give him at least a bit of a push. But I still hate how TJP is kind of getting just thrown to the wayside.
I think that this is the beginning of bigger things for TJ. I think this is going to go somewhere. And especially since he actually had a kind of a segment where he walks off frustrated rather than talking to Dasha Fuente.
We'll see.
Before that, though, Buddy Murphy has a promo about his match with Mustafa Ali tonight. That is your main event. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Our next contest scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
Is Jason Strife appearing on WWE television. So good for Jason. Call back to the days when I used to watch IWA Mid-South back in like 2010. He takes on Akira Tozawa, and it doesn't end well for him. Strife gets basically no offense. Tozawa picks up the win at 1 minute and 55 seconds dropping the Dick Togo special, the Senton Bomb. Now I have a question. If I can't say Balls Mahoney, can I not say Dick Togo either?
Probably not.
Fair enough. I'm left without Togo and Mahoney. I am left without my dick and balls. Anyway, now that I've offended people, Lio Rush comes out to. Hey, speaking of offending people, Lio Rush came out to take in this contest here, and then proceeds to tell Akira Tozawa that he was impressed by what he saw and the fact that Akira used to be cruiserweight champion. But what has Tozawa really done since then? Okay, that's actually a valid point.
It really is.
He's being a douche about it, but it's a valid point. And says that Tozawa wants that Lio wants Tozawa to step his game up and face Lio Rush. Possibly as early as next week, more likely in 2 weeks, because our feature contest, as we talked about at the start of the show, is Cedric Alexander and Hideo Itami next week for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yep.
Your thoughts on the impending Akira Tozawa-Lio Rush match?
Well, first, before I talk about the impending match, did you notice during this promo, Lio Rush made me think of two similar but very different other wrestlers, one current and one former, in this promo. And the former that I speak of, the way he reminded me of this other wrestler, I would love to have him continue and actually incorporate into his character with how he is.
MVP?
No.
Then I don't know.
The current one is Velveteen Dream. Some of his inflections and whatnot, it just sounded like Dream.
Nah, it's Cell, but okay, go ahead.
And the former is The Rock, with him talking about himself, at least a little bit. He didn't keep. I would love to see him actually stick to it and do it consistently, but him talking about himself in the third person.
See, I think Lio has the ability to stand on his own, though, and not have to play off of anybody's previous success.
I'm not saying it in that sense. I'm just saying, like, he has that type of personality, and it just sounded natural for him to be talking about himself in the third person. It just sounded right, him saying it that way. And I think it would work for him and would bring make people think of him as a Rock type, and, and it may get him even more over than he already is.
We will see those two go at it here. Do you have any interest in the Lio Rush Akira Tozawa feud? Do you think it's going to be a one and done, or do you think it's something we get extended as Leo's first major feud here on the 205 Live brand?
It'll probably be a little bit extended, but especially with how they gave him an extended entrance package and all of this, I have a feeling he's going to go over in this feud. It may get a 3-match thing, 1-1-1 type of thing, that 50-50 booking. But, I like this pairing. I think they could definitely do a lot with both of them. Both are very athletic. They can both tear the house down. But we'll see where they go with this. It'll be interesting to see how they work with each other.
That takes us... Oh, wait, a Mustafa Ali backstage promo first happens here, and Ali talks about the fact that him and Buddy Murphy are 1-1 with a no contest due to the interference by Hideo Itami, and that tonight they settle it. Speaking of Hideo Itami, Cedric Alexander has another promo before the main event as well, where he talks about next week's match with Itami, stating that Itami may be a legend in the terms of junior heavyweight wrestling, but next week Cedric is going to add Itami to his legacy, which I thought was a nice line.
Mm-hmm.
Our main event scheduled for one fall. No disqualification as Buddy Murphy takes on Mustafa Ali, and yeah, go watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no words that I can say here that's going to describe it any better than go watch this. I will say this much. Have you noticed more and more that WWE announce tables are pretending they're Japanese?
Yeah.
What a dick. Togo. Segway.
Yeah, I saw that announce table not break, and I was like, oh, lovely.
That announce table did not break. It didn't even buckle.
Nope.
They freaking bounced.
Yep.
I'm guessing that probably sucked.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it did.
But
that the other spot that was really cool was Ali going up to the top part of the upright ring steps and superplexing him off.
Dangerous, though. That could have very easily have gone wrong.
Oh, yes. Oh, I know this. But any spot of that nature is.
Visually impressive, but dangerous,
Yes.
in my opinion. Let's talk about the finish here, which she's Mustafa Ali kicking off Murphy as Murphy tries to bum rush him in the corner and then leaping up onto the steps where Murphy was standing and going tilt-to-whirl satellite into the DDT for the pinfall. Were you surprised to see the not 054 finish?
Kinda, because that has been his go-to for a while, but he did try it earlier on in the match, and then, then Murphy grabbed his leg and prevented him, or grabbed his hair, rather, and prevented him from being able to do it, and they were kind of teasing the fact that, because of the brutality of the match and everything, that he didn't have the energy and the strength to get up to the top rope, so I think that's why they went with that finish.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about the fact that we had the amount of back work done on Mustafa Ali that we did by Buddy Murphy in here. Not only was this match high-flying and very spot-heavy, but they also told a story before they got into that spot finish.
Mm-hmm. That springboard tope con hilo was impressive by Buddy.
Murphy moves really well for one of the bigger dudes in the division.
Yeah. But yeah, that jump off of the ring steps over the top rope into Ali was a good one.
You can pick one person to start 205 Live with, Brandon. Who are you picking, Cedric or Mustafa?
I would say Cedric, personally, but both of them you couldn't go wrong either way, pretty much.
I think I pick Mustafa. I think Mustafa connects better with the crowd just because he gets such an underdog story about him. A guy that looks like Mustafa doesn't traditionally do well in American culture.
True. Oh no, I'll agree with you there.
We do see Mustafa end up picking up the win here, and frankly, I have to think that despite the fact that he was just the victim in that triple threat match with Ali and with Murphy and Hideo Itami, Mustafa ate the pinfall in that match. But I have to think that after a performance such as this and a match such as this, with the way that he won so decisively with that tornado DDT off the steps there, Ali has to be right back into the title picture, does he not?
Oh yeah, I would definitely think so. I think depending upon whoever wins the match between Itami and Cedric, I think Ali, especially if it's Itami, after Cedric has his rematch and whatnot, I think Ali definitely has to be the number one contender.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if Itami ends up picking up the title next week on 205 Live, then this match has to make Cedric or Mustafa Ali the number one contender for the Cruiserweight
definitely.
title. And that'll officially be a wrap for this week's episode of 205 Live here. Brandon, scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall?
I'm gonna give it an 8. The only thing that kind of puts it down to me a little bit, but I mean, like you said, maybe hopefully we see some sort of story built around it. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of an even match and not as much of a squash between TJP and Dar. But beyond that, the whole thing with Atami and Lio is going to be great. I think they can both tear the house down, definitely. And then the main event was obviously, Balls Mahoney to the wall action.
I'm being told we can't say Balls Mahoney. I must not say Balls Mahoney. Sorry.
I was setting you up perfectly for that one, by the way.
You did, and that's my gimmick. So, neener. Anyway, real quick here. Yeah, I'm actually a little bit higher than you are for this show as well. I'm at an 8.5. And I think a lot of that has to do for me with the whole TJP Dar thing. I don't think it was a squash. I think it was that Dar caught TJP sleeping. TJP overestimated his abilities against an unknown opponent here and didn't prepare himself properly for getting somebody the caliber of the returning Dar. Especially since he had been facing Jabba Ruse the last couple of weeks on 205.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Akira Tozawa, not Hideo Itami, and Lio Rush will be an excellent match.
Sorry. My bad.
It's all right.
It's almost 1:40 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't give you any more grief about it than just correcting you real quick there. But Tozawa and Lio Rush should be an excellent match here. And then, yeah, as you said, it's must-see TV for that main event.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan of the cruiserweight division, it's hard to imagine anything getting much better than that.
I mean, they didn't do with the stipulation. They didn't do as much as you would have thought with the stipulation. They pretty much just used ring steps. Oh, another spot that was pretty brutal to see was Buddy Murphy drop kicking the steps into Ali at ringside.
So I mean, there's something for everybody here.
Oh yeah.
You have the surprise return of Noam Dar. You have the high impact of Akira Tozawa's offense. You have the cocky character that is Lio Rush, and then you have the amazing main event here tonight as well. So this is your traditional post Enzo Amore 205 Live. This is what cruiserweight wrestling we wanted from the WWE. Mm-hmm. This is WW cruiserweight division come to the WWE.
Oh yes.
And frankly, I couldn't be happier about it. If you want to hear all of our plugs as far as where you can hear us and more often, make sure you check out this week's SmackDown Live review. We already did Raw. We'll be back with NXT on Thursday. W2mnet.com is the website. He has fantasy football to the max. I have the kickoff returning later in August. For Brandon Biskobing, I'm Harry Broadhurst. It's 1:40 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys next Tuesday night here on the 205 Live review on the W2M Network.